Hi mommies, welcome. Today let me share to you some math lessons for kindergarten. Number one is the numbers. They have to memorize the numbers at least 1 to 100 and recognize these numbers too. The second one is how to write these numbers. It's nice to have this kind of flashcards because it shows you on how to properly write those numbers. And you can also practice counting because there are some pictures there that you have to count. The third math lessons that we have here is the skip counting. They're going to have also skip counting lessons. We have here skip counting by 2s, 3s, 4s, and so on. Memorizing the skip counting ahead of time will be very beneficial for your kindergarten. The fourth math lesson here is the math, simple addition. I have here the flashcards that I use for my kindergarten. This is very easy to follow, and there are also some figures so that your son or your daughter will be entertained while practicing addition. Aside from these flashcards, I also use this Easy Math Simple Addition workbook. There are a lot of activities that your child can practice in addition or solving addition problems. The good thing about this workbook also, it has a lot of pictures and different activities that they can enjoy. Now we are moving to the fifth math lesson. In the kindergarten, we have here also the simple subtraction. Again, I have this flashcard that I use in practicing subtraction with my kindergarten. And of course, aside from this one, I also have the workbook. And here is the Easy Math Simple Subtraction. And same thing, it has a lot of activities that your little one would be enjoying solving this subtraction problem. I also highly recommend this, my first edition in subtraction activity book. It's not as colorful as those two workbooks that I've shown you earlier, but I really love the activities also that they presented in here. There are also coloring activities and writing activities here. These are the output or the answers of my kindergarten son when we were practicing addition and subtraction exercises. As you can observe, the subtraction problem, it is in vertical form and the horizontal form. The sixth math lesson, it would be the telling time. They're going also to learn how to tell time. You have to explain to your little one the minute hand and the hour hand. Also skip counting by 5s. Those are very important details that you have to explain to your kindergarten. I love this material because it's very simple and very light. I also have here the workbook, Easy Math Time. These workbooks have a lot of activities related to telling time as well as writing activities here. So you can see some instruction there, and then these are the output of my son when we were practicing telling time. He's just going to look at the clock and write down what time is it. In this part also, this is match the clock with the correct time. I have shown you this workbook earlier. At the end part, there are also activities related to time. We have here the minute hand and the hour hand. More details about telling time, and here your son or your daughter would be answering this part. There are also writing activities here. What time to wake up, the time for bath, for breakfast, and study time. More activities here. And this part, draw the clock hands. We have the minute hand and hour hand. I have additional material for telling time. This is how it looks like. What I normally do if we're practicing this one, I just cover some part, the lower part, and then let my son guess what time is it. This is also exciting if you give some kind of reward whenever he gets the correct answer. Seventh math lesson that we have here is the fraction. I have here the workbook, Easy Math Fractions. Fraction is a part of a whole. You're just going to simplify the definition of fractions to your children in order for them to understand easily. Let's have the examples. The shaded one is number 1 or the numerator, and the whole including the shaded one is 10 or the denominator. Is the shaded part, and the whole including the shaded part is the denominator, which is 10. The third example here, 3 parts are shaded, that's number 3 or numerator, and the whole including the shaded one is 10 or the denominator, so these 3/10. That's how I simply explain it to my son. Now we move on to another activity on this workbook. Here, there's an instruction for 1/2 fraction, color half of the part of the shapes. And so they're just going to color the half of these shapes. Next one is for 1/4 fraction, color quarter part of the shapes. Next one we have here, divide the shapes into half, color 1/2 of each shape to show 1/2. Now let's jump to the 8th math lesson that we have here. It's the Philippine Money. The first thing that you have to teach your child here is the value of each money bill, like 500 peso, 1,000 peso, and so on. What I usually do is I just take out some of these flashcards. Like for example here, I took the 20 peso bill and 1,000 peso bill, and I'll be asking my son how much is it, and I expect the answer would be 1,020. Next activity is how much is this? 2,000 bills. Next one is a 500 bill plus 20 peso bill. How much is it? So that would be 520. So those are the activities that I usually give it to my son. Now this would be 540. Next activity is 1,000 bill plus 500 bill plus 20 bill. How much is that? That would be 1,520. That's how I teach counting money for my kindergarten. More activities here. 200 peso bill plus 20 peso bill. How much is that? That would be 220 peso. Those are the 8 math lessons for kindergarten.